Ashley's place. And I was originally out on my school field in a prefab building, and while we were getting our new buildings made, and I'm back in my original old building now, back in my original old classroom, and you can see some of things from previous shows in the background. And I thought that this is a good time to just say what I've been up to, because I've taken roughly about a year and a half off making YouTube content. It's been a really, really long time since I've been on YouTube, and I mean, you could probably guess why. It's mostly to do with COVID-19. Now, as a teacher, I have been really consumed in time producing online content for students while they were dealing with the pandemic. And a lot of teachers will be in the same boat as me, dealing with COVID-19 and how to interact with your students in this format. And so that's required a lot of my time making content that goes directly out to my class. And so I haven't had the time to make content for the thing that I'm passionate about, doing YouTube and being a creator and a maker and all that sort of stuff. Now, that isn't to say that it hasn't still been happening. It's just been on a much more downscaled version, I suppose you'd say. And so, yeah, this is kind of like a catch up to say that I'm working on new ideas and things at the moment. And having had a year off, it's given me a lot of time to process the way in which I do things and how I come up with content and things like that. And so this video today is just kind of, like I said, catching up and saying what I've been doing for the last year, but also sharing some of the things that I've learned over the last year. One of the ones that really sticks out to me is the EDC movement, and I've been really into that. So if you're not sure what EDC stands for, it stands for Everyday Carry. There's a lot of people that are into it, and having watched so much content online from people's EDC content, you kind of get an idea that there's varying levels and different kinds of EDC out there. So some of the stuff that I've watched a lot of are what they would probably call bug out equipment. So it's people who are preppers and planning for the worst, and so they have like a bag full of loot that if things go horribly wrong, they can take off into the mountainside and they're prepared. There's a kind of a scaled down version of that where like people are just prepared for any scenario. And then I think there's kind of people like me who it's more makers and creators, and they like having their stuff with them all the time because you never know when you're going to need it. It's more of like a Boy Scout scenario, I think is what you'd say. And so having watched a lot of that kind of content, what I noticed is that the bug out people, for want of a better expression, I'm sorry if you're one of those people, and I'm not trying to offend you because I've learned a lot from you guys. People that have bug out bags, generally it's like a backpack because it's meant to be, the expression bug out is to like kind of take off into the wops, what we'd say here in New Zealand, like take off into the bush or something like that. And so a bug out bag is like an easily carryable backpack and things like that. And I'm more a maker version of that, like an urban EDC is one of the expressions I heard. And so I need equipment that I can carry with me, but I don't have to have it on my back all the time. So I normally have my EDC bag in the back here. And so one of the people that really inspired me, and I drew a lot of my thinking and my choices in my EDC bag is from the really famous maker and creator Adam Savage. He made his own EDC bag, and I really liked not necessarily just the bag, but the style of bag because of how would I put it? How user friendly it was. And particularly for me. So I've tried having backpacks in the past as my EDC bag, but I tend to have a lot of little things and a lot of junk, and I tend to mess a bag up really easily because I'm not organized. If anyone knows me, they know that. And so things tend to get lost in a really deep backpack, and then you're kind of rifling through a backpack. And if it's dark, or even if you're in shadow, it's really hard to find the things that you want. And so my choice of EDC bag is a tool bag. Now, I found that this is from my local hardware store. In New Zealand, we have Bunnings Warehouse. In Australia, you'd have these too. And so this is the Craft Right company. It's really inexpensive, cheap bag. I want to spend a lot of money, but the reason why I got it is it's like the old doctor's bag. It's got that wire frame opening, and it opens really wide, and you can see everything in your bag. That was the big reason I bought this, because Adam Savage had a very similar bag where it opens up to a really wide mouth and you can see everything, and there's all the storage compartments on this side, and then all the storage compartments on the other side, plus all the storage on the outside. And so the premise of an EDC bag is basically having everything that you would use on a daily basis, everyday carry, but also things that you might need in an emergency. So on the outside, I've got disposable face masks. I've got a reusable face mask in there. I've got some paracord because rope always comes in handy. I've got zip ties, a notebook for writing notes. From a different video that you would have seen maybe a year ago is my Edc Tin, which is predominantly my first aid kit at the moment. I got medication in there, the usual things that people carry, car keys. I don't like carrying my car keys in my pocket, so it's more convenient for me to have it in my bag. Snacks, got my GoPro in there, muesli bars. And then after doing that for probably about a year, I realized that there's things that I carry in my pockets all the time. And so things like my phone and things like that, and just trying to organize my life a little bit better. And I got into doing field notes. Quite a lot of guys who do EDC or who are makers and creators and builders and all that sort of stuff have like what is normally known as a field notes book. And it's kind of just like a notebook for, obviously putting down notes, but doing mechanical diagrams and all that sort of stuff. And so I got into doing that. So this is my field notes book. And I particularly like this brand. This is Lamy. I really like their fountain pens, but this is a really nice book. It fits snugly in my back pocket, and it's got enough pages that I can go. I use one of these maybe I use a new one of these every 3 months, and so the way in which I do it is I use the bullet pointing method, or bullet journaling, I should say, and that's a really convenient method of doing your diet, like doing a diary. I don't like actually having a proper physical diary with days of the week and stuff in it. I find bullet pointing is better, and I'm more inclined to make messages and make sure I follow through on all my notes. And then I also set up calendars so I can keep track of everything. And then on top of that, I found that I was having it in my back pocket and sit on it and it'd be uncomfortable and things like that. And so I purchased one of these too. It's my Edc Pouch, and this goes everywhere with me on the daily. And so I originally was carrying the bag with me, my big bag, into the shops and things like that, and it does get a bit heavy and cumbersome. So I normally have this inside there, and when I go into the shops, I take this out and put it in my pocket because this actually fits in my back pocket. It's like a pencil case and little mini backpack all in one. So I got all my stuff in there and cards and all kinds of stuff. I always like having a torch. Torch is a really handy thing if you're ever thinking about doing your own EDC kit. I highly recommend it. So the things that I carry with me all the time, the bag comes with me everywhere. It's got everything I possibly would need in it. You'd be surprised how people know now that if they need to borrow a screwdriver or something off me, they come and ask me, and I'll just pull it out of my bag and give them a screwdriver. But also the stuff in here and in my pockets are the things that I carry every day that are on me all the time. And so I always have a pocket knife. Pocket knife is really helpful, and I have two pocket knives, two main pocket knives, I should say. This is the one I carry with me every single day of the week, especially when I'm at school. Now, I'm not an advocate for carrying a pocket knife around school. This is just a small pocket knife so I can open things and stuff like that. They're really super helpful. So it's just a small pocket knife. And then on the farm, I have a different pocket knife. And this is my pocket knife. I keep it in my EDC bag so I don't lose it, but this is my farm knife. And this one's a flipper. So, you push on the blade and it just flips out. And then this is a fixed blade. And so this is obviously for more rigorous work, so to speak, more like if I tried to use this for some of the stuff on the farm, it'd probably snap. So this is literally just for, open packaging, boxes, getting to something. Maybe I might need to gently pry something, flimsy off something. And then this is for heavy duty stuff. So good to see the regular people on Facebook. Hello, everybody. It's good to see your messages. And then the other thing that I've been really into carrying, and I really highly recommend it. It sounds really stupid, but in this time and age, it makes so much sense. Now, and I've since I started doing this, I do it every day now, even when I'm at home, and it's carrying a bandana. Now, this is like my version of a handkerchief. Now, I looked online to get a handkerchief because a handkerchief seems more practical at school. Being a school teacher, you don't normally walk around with a bandana in your pocket because it has a funny connotation these days. Like, I haven't gone and joined a gang in the last year, just so you know. But a handkerchief is really super helpful because obviously with COVID, covering your face and things like that. And especially with a mask on, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'm sure I'm not. When you're wearing a mask 24/7, your face gets really sweaty and steamy and fogged up, and your nose starts to run because of all the steam. So it's always good having something that you can wipe your face with. And a bandana is a really good option for that because it's only $2 from the shops. It makes a good impromptu mask if you need to make yourself a mask because you've left yours behind. And it just has a lot of different functions as well. It's a really super practical thing to have. So I normally have it neatly and tidily folded up like that and then jammed in one of my pockets, and I carry it every single day. I have about 3 or 4 of them, and so obviously if I've wiped my face, I'll hoik it to the side into the laundry basket and grab a new one. Super practical. Obviously, if you don't want to display your colors, you can fold it up even smaller and really wedge it down. But like I say, the cool thing about a bandana too is that it folds out really, really large, and so you've got a lot of surface area that you can do things with. The other thing too is being a maker and a creator and a builder and things like that and doing all that sort of stuff. If you're taking something apart and you need to keep something safe, like screws and nuts and bolts and stuff, you can, fold it out and lay it in there and then bundle it all up so you don't lose anything. So there's so much utility, making a bandage if you really needed to. So much utility in a bandana. Big fan of that. This is my torch that I carry around every day too. It's the Trojan brand that you can buy at Bunnings Warehouse. This was really, really cheap, but it's super powerful and really small. It's got a good light on it, got a good beam. I'm a really big advocate for carrying a torch now. It's come in handy so many times. Most phones have it built in, but you tend to use up all your charge and things like that. And then on that note, because I've moved to the farm, power is quite unreliable where I live. If a tree falls on a power line, that the whole community's out. About a month ago, we had a power cut, and I live near Silverdale now. And the power's out from Silverdale all the way to Muriwai, in one massive band. And so power's super unreliable where I am. And so one of the things I bought after about the 3rd or 4th power cut was to buy a power bank, but this is a really good one, and it's solar powered, so you can charge it using the sun and then charge all your devices. And then it's also got, I won't turn the torch on, but it's got a torch on there as well, which is, I like a good torch. Nothing's worse in a power cut too than not having a torch, or candles and things for that matter. But having lots and lots of backups of backups is really, really clever idea. And it's just something I got into through EDC, I should say. I won't go too much into what's in the bag, because there's just I could do a whole bag dump and show everything in the bag, but there's just way too much to go through. But the gist of it, there's tape, a first aid kit, spares of my field notes book when I use it up, so I've always got some spare. Hygiene kind of things like hand sanitizer and deodorant and breath mints, because it's nice being fresh. Nothing's worse than, you've got to go and meet somebody somewhere and you're all gross and disgusting. And as a primary school teacher, I'm constantly running around with students, playing in the playground or doing sports, and then you got to go into a meeting straight after that. So it's good to have that sort of stuff too. But yeah, I thought I'd just share. This is like kind of the first video back. I'm a little bit out of practice. I'm really excited to share some of the stuff that I've been working on. And if lockdown hadn't happened, and COVID and multiple lockdowns and all that sort of stuff, there would be a lot of different things that I'd be sharing. I've been working a lot on things with NFC chips and a lot of things to do with the 3D printer. I don't think I've actually done a video about the 3D printer in the time that I've had it, which is about 3 years now. So there's a lot of things that have been going on. But yeah, I'm hoping that this is the beginning of me getting the ball rolling again into starting to create more content. But yeah, for now, I'm going to say ka kite. I don't want to make this video go too long. It's really good to see the usual suspects in the comments line. But it's also good to just be in this format again. So for now, ka kite anō. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time on Mr. Ashley's Place. E noho rā.